Hello, I'm Leslie Logan with OnlinePilatesClasses.com. Welcome to our weekly live chat where we answer your questions. So this question came from one of our beginner classes about having a flexible core. That person just felt like they had a hard time with some of the exercise because their core isn't flexible. So I thought it'd be really fun to actually talk about what the core is in Pilates and also some exercises you can do without equipment and then maybe some equipment exercise you might want to do so that you can have this flexible core. So in Pilates, we actually don't consider the core to just be the front, your abs. We actually consider the core to be the muscles around your hips, around your waist, all the way to the back, and around your shoulder girdle, including those back muscles, right? So if you think about your core being basically the muscles that surround your axial skeleton, so from tailbone to the crown of your head, that's a lot of things to think about being flexible. We could this could be a whole workshop, right? But most people are thinking about their lower back. And so what I wanted to say is when things feel tight, they could be tight because they're overly worked, like a tight hip flexor that like a runner would have from like constantly using the hip flexor. It can also be tight because it's weak. So before I go any further, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. Hit the bell so you get the notifications. We drop a new class every single other week, and then we answer your questions in between those. It's really a lot of fun. But what you'll want to do is make sure you don't miss anything from us because we create videos to help you understand what Pilates is for your body. I think a lot of people think there's reformer Pilates or mat Pilates or this Pilates. It's all Pilates, and it's actually what is helpful to design the most balanced body for you. So having a flexible core requires you to balance some imbalances. So first we need to understand if you're tight because you're weak or tight because you're overworked. If you're someone who maybe lifts a lot of weights, is an athlete, like you're already in movement practice, that's pretty more than the average, more than what they would say average person to do, you probably have a strong but tight situation going on. There we need to actually work on some more stretching stuff. If you have a tight core, tight area because it's weak, we need to do some strengthening stuff, right? So here's some exercise on the mat I really like to use to help do that. If your lower back is the tighter one, rolling like a ball, you don't have to get into a tight ball like I do. You can actually just start here with your hands on your thighs and just roll through your lower back and just allow that. And if you feel like you get stuck, like you're a dead bug, right? That's okay. It's actually okay to be imperfect at this. It's okay to be in practice. So one of the things you'll have to think about is not about massaging the lower back, but it's like, how do I get my booty up, right? So working on that. Now, if your lower back isn't the tight part, it's your upper back that is, then we actually have to work on stretching that. How do we do that? It's a really great question. I love spine stretch forward for this because you can actually take your hands here, pull your shoulders back, but then pull your chest forward. And because we're not trying to stretch our hamstrings at the same time, we can use the mat to push our hands into it to pull and round, not from our shoulders, but from our center and really get that stretch. And you get 3 pulses here because it's here to stretch your spine. And again, we do that, right? Now, if your hip flexors are causing your lower back to pull forward and causing tightness there, we talked about this in last week's live. I love single leg kick. I think it's such a great exercise. First of all, it helps us strengthen our upper back, which sometimes our upper back needs to work its extension to get better flexion. So you prop up here and then you get to stretch your hip flexors while working the back side of your legs. Oftentimes, because our hip flexors get really dominant, it pulls on the lower back. It keeps us from having that flexibility. So we actually have to strengthen the back of our legs to bring all of the leg muscles into making our core happen. There are a few more exercises, but I would strongly encourage you to check out some of our mat workouts that we have on this channel, because in Pilates, we don't spot correct. We don't spot train. We take the whole body. We do the best we can with the exercises we're able to do in some capacity. And then we try again tomorrow. That's what's so cool about it. You don't have to be perfect at it. If you can't do it, that doesn't mean we don't ever do it. It just, we take notice. You ask a comment. You ask a question in the comments below the video, and I can help answer it for something for you that's more specific, right? So be in process is way better than like, oh, I couldn't do that, so I'm not able to do Pilates. Not yet, that exercise specifically, but there are 500 exercises we have access to. If you do have access to equipment, what is really nice is the Cadillac. I'm on this right now. You can also have access to a tower. There's a lot of supported exercises that allow us to stretch and strengthen things without relying solely on our muscles. Just why Joseph Price created this equipment. He created the mat work first. And then he created all this other equipment to help us because we started with the mat work. If you want to know more about that, check out My Truth About Pilates with No BS. It just dropped that last week. And it's really, really helpful. It really myth busts a lot of things. So having that flexibility you're looking for in your core comes from a balance of stretch and strength. So we don't just stretch things to get flexibility, and we don't just strengthen things just to be strong. We actually do want to work the two together, which is why Pilates is so nice. So if there's an exercise you're struggling with, put it in the comments below so we can help answer those questions and give you some things to think about. At the same time, be kind to yourself, be in practice. It's okay to take the same class over and over and over again. That's what we do at FLASHCARDS.com. Actually, our members take the same class on Tuesday at 2 p.m. all the way to the next Tuesday. They take as many times as they have access to it. Why? Because they get to compare themselves to themselves, and they get to really practice a new theme that can help them understand the practice better for the next class drops. So if you would like to try that out, if you like the accountability, and also what OPC members get is my eyes on their body. So I'm not guessing at the answer that it could be for your body, but actually giving you the answer for your body. If you want to be a member, check out our promo for YouTube viewers. It's onlinepilatesclasses.com/YouTube. That link is in the show notes. I have a lot of amazing things, including the community, and I really hope to see you there. Until next Sunday, everyone, thank you so much. Hope this helps. Have an amazing day.